With the CS about this bold plan to plant 15 billion trees by this country. And of course, so far we've achieved about a billion trees and counting. And this year's Mazingira Day is all about us going back. In fact, the program is called Turudi Primo.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. You did talk a little bit about why it was important to go back to the schools. Talk to me about the mechanics of it, the logistics of it. How many trees are you aiming to plant through this? How is it going to be to access these seedlings? 35,000 schools across the country, that's a lot of schools. What's the plan to send the seedlings to these schools to make sure that it's a coordinated effort?
Oh, thank you very much. And as we said, the rallying call, the theme is Turudi Primo, to donate fruit trees, not to clean environment.
Okay.
So we are talking about that. Now we have 35,000 schools. So the primary thing we talked about is we were able to mobilize we were led by His Excellency the President, mobilize the cabinet secretaries, the principal secretaries, CEOs and chairmen. And what we are telling them is they need to go back to their school and donate 2,000.
Or individually?
Yes, 2,000 fruit seedlings. So we have roughly over 200 schools being sorted. But yet again, we were looking at the other schools, the 35,000. So what we will have is in strategic areas, NYS will be able to provide fruit tree seedlings along the road, maybe the main highways, but also we are telling them that this is again a time to capacitate the tree nurseries around you. In every school, there are tree nurseries that we've been able to map out, and we are able to inform the primary schools where they are so that the people can buy fruit trees and come and plant, because it is our responsibility as Kenyans. We can only do our part as the ministry, but for us as Kenyans, let us think about that child who will have something to eat at the end of the day. So that is why we are telling Kenyans, let us donate, let us contribute, and let us go back and plant these fruit trees.
All right, so there's this drive, and like just we said before the break, planting trees is easy,
yes,
or relatively easy. Keeping them alive and for them to grow to maturity is a whole other ball game. What's the plan for this? What's the plan to keep these programs sustainable and not just something that is launched ceremonially?
Yes, you're right. There's need for capacitating, and we will have champions in schools to ensure that we are actually growing the trees. Again, this is a practice, a behavioral practice that we want to nurture among the children, so that they're able to take care of the environment. But as you have said when we were discussing, is that the ultimate goal is the 15 billion. This, we are just targeting the 30%, which is the fruit trees. But then again, for the rest of the trees, including the indigenous trees, because indigenous trees are really critical when it comes to biodiversity, when it comes to climate resilience, when it comes to ecosystem restoration. Indigenous trees really play a critical role, as well as carbon sequestration. So we are not putting the indigenous trees away, because we have seen the impact they've had within our environment. There's flooding in of biodiversity whenever we have these indigenous trees. And so we again rallying that call. But for Mazingira Day, we had a focus on the fruit trees because of the practice that we want to have among our citizens, the ownership, even as we move forward towards the 15 billion tree.
Right. Now, in one of the communications from your ministry, we've understood that tree growing is also an economic opportunity for a lot of people.
Yes.
So how can you tell us about how it fits into the broader government plan for the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and how this can, what this means to the Kenyan on the ground, and what opportunities can they find for themselves in this broader effort to grow trees?
Yes. So even as we were looking at the 15 billion tree campaign, we were asking ourselves, how else are we able to incentivize Kenyans? And how can we improve value addition? How can we ensure that we are aligned to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and improving livelihoods even as we are growing the trees? And so we have developed various documents, including strategic plans, the regulatory framework like the Forest Conservation Management Bill. We've had strategies on bamboo, because bamboo has value addition, agroforestry strategy, commercial forest, among others. So these are again just the beginning of ensuring that we have the strategy, then we move to implementation, and that will have impact in the community, so that we will rally partners, private sector, again led by the ministry, to ensure that we are taking advantage of all this. Then we also have the RED Plus, which is how we people can again look into carbon credits, ensuring that they're getting carbon credits. And in addition to that, we have the Ministry of Treasury, where we're working together to have the green incentive framework, where again we're looking at how green industry or economies can also support. Also the President's agenda with the green jobs that are being created through this. So we are also creating jobs, and that is again aligned to the bottom-up economic agenda.
Right, and so for any young people who might be looking at this and listening to you and saying, hey, well, I want to take advantage of that, I want to be part of that, how can they reach out? How can they find opportunities for themselves in this broader plan? Yes,
so there are many aspects where they can look into. Maybe I can start with the community-based initiatives. We have FLOCA. FLOCA is financially led climate change action program, which is at county level. And at that level, then we're having community-based organizations coming in to support in matters climate change, including tree growing. But also for the 15 billion, we want to see how we can also, again, apart from producing our own seedlings, how can we get the community-based organizations and we can purchase the seedlings from them. So those that have been licensed, that way we can capacitate the women, the youth group to be able to get support from that area.
All right. Yeah. People of TikTok, people of YouTube, I hope you're listening to this. If you want to take advantage of this, if you want to take part in this, then you have to get organized and take advantage of this
and maybe Victor,
plan. Yes, please.
We didn't talk about waste management, which is
actually that's where I'm going next.
Okay, right.
You've read my mind. I know, apart from the going back to the primary schools to plant trees, and particularly fruit trees, the special emphasis there, there's also a plan to look after the environment through, cleaning up and waste and all that. Can you talk to us a little bit about the plastic ban that's been in effect for a while? How are we doing in terms of enforcing that? And where do we stand as a country in the fight against plastics and pollution in general?
Okay, we continue to reinforce and ensure that there is compliance to the law. And this is especially because we are leaders, we call ourselves high ambitious countries, that we are rallying a call to ensure that we are looking at the full life cycle of plastics, and we are getting, we don't have plastics within our environments. So we are global leaders. You will see the platforms where His Excellency the President is talking to heads of states across the globe, talking about the same. Again, the plastic treaty, which Kenya is really pushing for us to have as a globe. And that again brings in the leadership component, bearing in mind that we were able to ban plastics, single-use plastics in Kenya. But despite that, there's a lot we can do in waste management, and a lot we've done. For instance, the Sustainable Waste Management Act, the Extended Producer Responsibility Regulation, which is really critical to ensure that producers are tasked to take care of the waste that they produce. Previously it was a linear economy where you just throw. You could you find bottles in the rivers everywhere. No one cares. You're producing, you just come and tell us, oh, I produce 1 million bottles of soda. but we don't know where the plastics are. They're ending in the land, they're ending in the rivers, and they're causing pollution. And so now there's a rallying call that producers must be responsible for the waste that they produce, yeah, the full life cycle. And you know, that way, the contributions that they have will be able to support waste pickers, will be able